What's up? Chester Area Church Devotional Podcast. Clint Davis, your host. Thanks for being with us. We get started. Mitch brings us in. Jacob, Esau, prepare to meet each other. It's quite a story. Drama is thick. We'll see it in just a moment.
Gives me grace for every trial. Feeds me with the living bread.
All right. Well, thank you so much for being with us as we get started this morning. Jacob meets Esau, or prepares to meet Esau. Now, yesterday we finished this up. Jacob had sent messengers ahead to see what was going on with Esau. He offered an offering. He's bringing his information. He's bringing his offering and saying, listen, Esau, I'm gonna do what I can to satisfy you. Remember, Esau's angry. Last time they talked to each other, Jacob had cheated him out of his most important prized possessions, his birthright, and then his blessing from God. We talked about that. He's angry. He's upset. He wanted to kill Jacob. Jacob flees. 20 years later, Jacob and Esau are about to meet. Jacob's a little nervous, as would you be and as would I be. So the messengers that Jacob send to Esau return and say he's bringing with him 400 men. So verse 6 tells us in Genesis 32, when the messengers returned to Jacob, they said, we went to your brother Esau, and he is coming to meet you, and he has 400 men with him. Now Jacob was greatly afraid and distressed. He divided up the people with him into two camps, along with the herds, flocks, and the camels. He thought, if Esau comes to one camp and attacks it, the remaining one can escape. Wise. Then Jacob says, the God of my father Abraham, the God of my father Isaac, the Lord who said to me, go back to your land and to your family, and I will cause you to prosper. I am unworthy of all the kindness and faithfulness you have shown to your servant. Indeed, I crossed over the Jordan with my staff, and now have become two camps. Please rescue me from my brother Esau, for I am afraid of him. Otherwise, he may come and attack me, the mothers and their children. You have said, I will cause you to prosper, and I will make your offspring like the sand of the sea, too numerous to be counted. So he spent the night there and took part of what he had brought with him as a gift to his brother Esau, 200 female goats, 20 male goats, 200 ewes, 220 rams, 30 milk camels and their young, 40 cows, 10 bulls, 20 female donkeys, and 10 male donkeys. He entrusted them to his slaves to separate herds, and said to them, go on ahead of me, and leave some distance between the herds and me. And he told the first one, when my brother Esau meets you and asks, who do you belong to, where are you going, and whose animals are these ahead of you, then tell them, they belong to your servant Jacob, and they are a gift to my lord Esau, and look, he is behind us. He also told the second one, the third, and everyone who was walking behind the animals, say the same thing to Esau when you find him. You are to say, look, your servant Jacob is right behind us. For he thought, I want to appease Esau with the gift that is going ahead of me. After that, I can face him, and perhaps he will forgive me. So the gift was sent on ahead of them while he remained in the camp that night. During the night, Jacob got up and took his 2 wives, 2 slave women, and his 11 sons, and crossed the ford at Jabbok. He took them and sent them across the stream along with his possessions. Now Jacob is preparing to meet his brother. He's sending this tremendous bounty of wealth and gift. It's listed out here to give to Esau, as a gift to Esau, to appease Esau and his brokenness. See, Jacob has left. Interestingly, it's important for us to note, Jacob left the Jordan River. He crossed the Jordan River with his staff on his way to the land of his mother's kinfolk. He goes to Laban. He goes on his way to Laban with absolutely nothing. He only has a staff, and he's coming back with this tremendous wealth, this tremendous prosperity. God had blessed him richly. Now, God sometimes blesses us richly with financial things. Other times, he simply gives provision for what we need. But God, in this case, chose to bless Jacob richly. God is using this wealth, God is using this blessing as a demonstration, not only to Jacob, but to the world around him, that God is faithful to his people and will care for his beloved children. And so Jacob is now going to meet his brother Esau, and so he sends word ahead of him, and he sends this gift, hoping to appease Esau. And you can understand why he would do that. I can understand why he would do that. He wants to do the best he can do to try to appease the anger of Esau. If I give him all these different things, these camels, these sheep, these ewe lambs, these rams, these cows, etc., if I give him all this, it'll ease his frustration, it'll help relieve his burden, and he won't come after me and kill me because I have taken his land, his birthright. All the while, Jacob, however, you got to remember, is trusting that God is going to be faithful. God said, go back home. And in this passage we read, we have a prayer from Jacob where he says to the Lord, you are the one who sent me back, and I'm trusting that you're going to take care of me. So we have Jacob returning, understanding the angel's there to minister to him, that God is present with him. He's trusting that God is going to be faithful to fulfill his promises. I'm going to make your descendants great. Go back home to the land I've given you. Go back and be there. And then on the way, he says, you're going to meet Esau. And Jacob is trusting that God is going to atone, or God's going to alleviate this burden and bring reconciliation. Is he scared? For sure. Is it difficult? Absolutely. But he is taking the steps he needs to take in order to bring reconciliation. I think that's important for us. We got to trust that God's going to reconcile. We got to trust that God's going to bring grace. We got to trust that God's going to establish his people where he chooses. But we've got to take the necessary steps along the way to accomplish the goals that God has set for us. You guys have a great day. God bless you. I'll see you Monday. See you soon.
You can